Hi everybody. Next week we'll see most of the Grand Tour contenders racing either Paris-Nice or Tirreno Adriatico. Tirreno Adriatico covers 7 stages and attracted Vingegaard from amongst the main Tour de France contenders. Primož Roglič and Remco Evenepoel opted for Paris-Nice. Pogačar skips both and will ride the Volta Ciclista a Catalunya later in March. I ran a poll on our community page to find out for which of these 2 races you wanted me to do daily stage predictions, and that honor went to Paris-Nice. Unfortunately, I don't have enough hours in a day to do both. As a result, I'll only be doing this GC preview for Tirreno Adriatico. The racing starts with an 11.5k individual time trials on Monday, March the 4th. The route of the ITT is composed of 2 virtually straight sectors taking a round trip along the same lane, with a U-turn halfway. Being along the coast, the wind may be an important factor here, yet this one will always favor the aero powerhouses. I expect Ghana to take this one ahead of Vingegaard and Ayuso. Stage 2 is long and flat, 198k featuring 1400 meters of elevation gain. The final kilometers are mostly straight and on wide roads. This is pure sprint territory, and there's a host of fast men lining up here. Pre-race, and based on what we've seen till date, I'm calling this one for Merlier. Stage 3 comes in at 220k, good for 2693 meters of elevation gain. In the finale, the riders are served the climb of Casa Castalda, whose descent is seemingly quite demanding, so we may see a late breakout here, going into the final 10k, 4% uphill drag to the finish. A late breakout on the Casa Castalla is not excluded, nor is it excluded that one of the versatile sprinters is going to take this one. I really like Del Toro in a late attack for this stage, or Philipsen in a reduced bunch sprint. Stage 4 starts with an uphill drag and the climb to Vallico di Castelluccio, roughly 17k at 5% average. The last 3k of the stage run slightly uphill at about 4.5%. The final stretch is at 2% for the last 400 meters. The start of the stage favors the formation of a strong breakaway, yet from the top there's over 100k to go, giving the teams with a versatile sprinter on their ranks plenty of time to reel in the brake. Stage 5 is a very challenging mountain stage, going up and down all day, good for around 3000 meters of elevation gain, featuring the 12k 6.2% average climb to San Giacomo in the finale. From there the riders will be descending, for the road to start pointing up again in the final 8k. According to the organizers, the climb to the finish features an average gradient of around 7%. These type of stages are hard to control, and I expect the fight for the break to be vicious. It's a great stage for the likes of Pidcock, Kemna and Healy. Question is how much freedom they'll get from the teams eyeing the GC. Basically, it will be Visma Lease Bike deciding how much freedom the break gets, and assuming they want to win this race, I don't expect the break to get too much freedom. So I'm actually gonna call this one for Vingegaard. Stage 6 is the toughest stage of Tirreno Adriatico, 180k, with 3500 meters of climbing and featuring an R category summit finish. 10k at 8% average, with the steepest bits at 12% at the start of the climb. Expecting another Vingegaard demonstration here. On stage 7 then, word goes back to the sprinters, featuring a fully flat finale with a seemingly uncomplicated approach to the finish, and I'm going to call this one for Merlier once more. So to summarize, without knowing the actual race situation, we're looking at a short and flat ITT, 2 potentially versatile sprint stages, 2 pure sprint stages and 2 GC stages. With Merlier at the start, the fastest rider in the peloton at this point in time is lining up. Besides him, here's some of the other fast men from the preliminary start list to watch in my book. Philipsen, Ewan, Bauhaus, Milan, Vernon, Cavendish, Christophe, Girmay and Dainese. Also look for Page at Intermarché and look out for Strong at Premier Tech and Zingle at Cofidis in the versatile sprints. Here's an overview of the winners of the former 10 editions of Tirreno Adriatico, with Quintana, Roglic and Pogačar each having won 2 editions. Roglic did so in 2019 and last year, and Pogačar won the 2 editions before that. Interesting to note is that it's not always GC men taking this one home, with Van Avermaet winning in 2016 and Kwiatkowski in 2018. In these years though, the race featured only one proper mountain stage. Here's an overview of some of the riders lining up with previous experience in this race, including 2 former winners, Kwiatkowski in 2018 and Simon Yates in 2020, as well as 3 runners-up, Geesink, Froome and Vingegaard. along a whole lot of other riders who've ended up in the top 10 here in previous years. Pouls, Maika, Hindley, Gegenhardt, Simon Clark, Kemna, Formolo, Masnada, Aresman and Mas. Here's the betting odds at the time of recording, with Vingegaard the outspoken favourite, a logic which is hard to contest with, and after what we've seen from Pogacar earlier today in the Strade Bianchi, I'm expecting Vingegaard to be looking for an equally impressive demonstration on his end. Then, looking at what's still a preliminary start list, here's the riders to watch for GC on my end. So please cross-check my picks against the final start list. Starting with Simon Yates at Jaiko Alula, 7th down under and winner of the Alula Tour. Aresman at the Grenadiers, 5th in the Algarve last month. At UAE, we have Ayuso, who is entering his first stage race of the season, yet already has a bunch of podia and a win under his belt. It will also be interesting to see how Del Toro will do here, 3rd in the Tour Down Under, and carrying his form into the Strade. And of course, top favourite Vingegaard and Uiterbroeks at Visma Lease Bike. Tiberi and Pouls at Bahrain, who've only had one race day this far, where Tiberi outclassed Pouls, so I'm calling him. Carapaz at EF, 11th in Gran Camino, 3 minutes 20 down on Vingegaard. Hindley, 5th in Valenciana, and Martinez, 2nd to Evenepoel in the Algarve. And Mas at Movistar, whom we haven't seen in action yet this year around. Expect him to be in form though. Look out for youngster Gregoire at Groupama FDG, O'Connor at AG2R, the runner-up of the UAE Tour, and Tao Gegenhardt at Trek, who only managed 12th in the Algarve though. Finally, Poul and Bardet appear on the preliminary start list for DSM. In terms of stars, it's hard to argue with the bookies here when it comes to the top favourites. Vingegaard is the outright favourite with 4 stars, and Ayuso and Martinez get 3 stars. Simon Yates, Uiterbroeks, O'Connor and Mas get 2 stars, and Aresman, Hindley and Tiberi get 1 star. In terms of podium prediction for this year's Tirreno Adriatico, I'm calling Vingegaard for the win ahead of Martinez and Ayuso. Enjoy the race and look out for my daily Paris-Nice previews. I'm heading into a busy week, yet I'll try to squeeze them in.